If you grew up Latina, especially in a religious or conservative household, you probably know exactly what I mean when I say sex is not something you talk about. But what happens when you still have questions? When your body is still curious? When desire and identity and shame all collide and you're left all alone with it? Hi there. If we've never met, my name is Raquel Perez, and I am a licensed therapist here in the state of Colorado. I specialize in sex therapy, emotional healing, and helping people create safety for insight. And while I've supported hundreds of people navigating these exact same questions, this one's personal. And today, I want to share the parts I hid, the parts that shaped me. I also want to offer gentle insight and tools for anyone who is still carrying the weight of that silence. You see, I was a first-generation Latina growing up here in Colorado in a home that was deeply religious and very culturally traditional. There were so many things that we didn't talk about, but sex just wasn't unspoken. It was forbidden, and the messages were very clear. Sex is not appropriate. Good girls don't think about that, and you just don't do it. And those messages didn't need to be repeated much. They lived in the air that we breathed every day. But here's the thing. I was still a human being, still a girl with questions, curiosities, with a body that was changing and a heart that longed to understand. And no one around me would or could have those conversations with me. Because when you're young and you don't have space to ask or explore, the only option is to internalize it. I started to believe, maybe I'm bad for thinking this way. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe something is wrong with me. And those beliefs, they didn't just shape my relationship with sex, they shaped my entire sense of self. I couldn't understand or accept my gayness. I felt disconnected from my body. I made decisions from a place of confusion and longing, not clarity and choice. And that led me to have my first son when I was only 17 years old. I didn't have the tools or the language to navigate sex with care or self-awareness. And for years, I carried guilt for being sexual, for being gay, for not fitting into the good girl mold that I was handed. And I didn't come out until I was 39. That's decades after carrying shame, decades of not fully claiming my identity, and decades of feeling disconnected from my pleasure, my truth. My healing didn't come overnight. It came from sitting in silence and finally listening. It came from self-reflection and meditation. It came from community, from other mujeres who told me the stories of their own truths. I started asking questions that I had buried for years, like, what does sex mean to me? What does safety feel like in my body? What are my real desires when shame isn't making the decisions? I began to slowly untangle what was mine from what was taught. I cried, I got angry, I grieved, and then I began to reclaim my body, my voice, my joy. And the reality is, you can too. If you're someone who is still holding this shame, I want to offer you a few starting points. Number one, name what was taught. Take a moment and name the messages that you received when you were growing up. Maybe it was, sex is shameful, or you shouldn't want that, or only certain people are allowed to express desire. Here's a journal prompt. What were the spoken or unspoken rules about sex in my home when I was growing up? How did they shape me? Number two, come back to your body gently. For many of us, Shame lives in the body. It shows up as tension, bracing, or even numbness. Practice this. Put your hand on your chest or your belly. Take a breath and whisper. It's okay to be curious. It's okay to want. I am safe in this moment. Number 3, find one person. You don't need a whole community to start. Just one person who can hold your truth without judgment. And that could be a therapist, a friend, a partner, or someone in a healing space like this one. Here's a quick therapist tip. Safety is the soil where insight grows. Without it, shame will keep your story stuck. Number 4, normalize the layers. Sex, pleasure, identity, trauma, they don't exist in a vacuum. It's okay if it feels messy. It's okay if it feels confusing. You're allowed to take your time. You're allowed to not know. Healing is not about doing it right. It's about making space to be with the truth that already lives inside of you. And I want to leave you with this very final thought. If I could go back and whisper to my younger self, I'd say, you are not weird. You are not broken. You deserve love exactly the way that you are. And if no one has ever said that to you before, let me be the first one. You are not weird. You are not broken. You are so deeply worthy of love, of pleasure, of softness, and of being fully seen. You deserve to know yourself. You deserve safety, connection, and joy. And it's never too late to begin that journey back home to yourself. If this spoke to you, let me know in the comments down below or message me directly. And if you're ready to start unpacking in a more structured and supported way, download my free guide for creating safety for insight. It's a gentle entry point into your own healing journey. I'll also be sharing some more videos about sexuality, pleasure, emotional safety, and queerness in the next coming weeks. So make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. You don't have to carry this alone. You're allowed to be seen, to soften, and to explore. And you're already on the path by just being here. I want to leave you with this very last resource. This meditation, which is a meditation that I have designed to guide you through regaining pleasure in your life. Well, my friend, until next time, thank you for being here, listening to a little bit of my story. Until next time, bye for now.